All right, Sag, I think that you've gone through one too many situations with a person or a group of people, and you are now breaking the cycle. It's almost like this is the last time. This is the last time that I go out of my way to try to make you happy, and I'm not doing it anymore. So, all must have prizes trying to please everyone, and then round and round. Now, all must have prizes is saying that you're trying to keep everyone happy. It says treating everyone as equals and rewarding those who have not worked hard, playing nice, wanting to please, an inability to choose who or what is best for you, trying to be fair but avoiding difficult decisions is not fair on yourself, and maintaining illusions to avoid disappointing others. But I feel like this is the one time that you can't do it anymore. But it's going to feel like you're kind of slipping backwards here. But really, this is what you needed to have happen in order for you to kind of step back and see what you've been doing and what, is not being appreciated by another. So round and round, it says the appearance of this card is a reminder that although it may appear that you've gone backward, the truth is that you're standing at a higher level, looking down into your circumstances. You will learn something, do something better, and break a cycle set up in the past. You actually have a bird's eye view of your initial footprints and can access the wisdom and lessons learned. All right, Saggy, here's your overall. The sun, the sun, the sun. So no matter what is happening around you right now, I feel like you're going to be fine. With the sun, we're talking about you getting back to a place where you feel renewed, rejuvenated, seeing everything clearly for what it is. I like that this is the overall, especially with what you have going on in the Oracle cards. Now, in the past, the Hangman. So in the past, you've been in this state of limbo, but with the sun being there, I think that you finally get the clarity and the illumination that you're needing. Now, for some of you, it could be that there was a situation that you're waiting on, and finally, you're seeing everything clearly and understanding that, it's time to kind of move forward now, no longer being in the state of limbo. And I don't think that it's about you needing to see the perspective of another, or seeing more of a situation, because with the sun, you already see everything that you need to see. But you're doing this to yourself. You've been putting yourself in this state of limbo and putting your life on hold, so to speak. Okay. Now, the only thing that I worry about with this is that you're continuing to wait for something to come into you. And I'm getting that a lot this week with the Three of Wands. Now, with the Three of Wands, like I always say, you should already know what to expect, because these are the things that you've been acting toward. Right? This is coming out of the Two of Wands. You have the initial passion. You have the plan that you act toward. Now you're waiting to see how something is going to develop. But you already know. Like, you already know. So if you're waiting for something to come to you with the sun being there, you already have the clarity that you need. But my question then is, what is it that you're waiting on, or what is it that you're expecting to come through? Very nice. Very, very nice. So future conditions, the Empress. Now, absolutely, for some of you, you're coming out of this state of limbo. You're acting toward your passions here. You're watching things develop, and you move into abundance. And being happy and being comfortable, being able to enjoy your life big time with the sun being there. One of the things that I talk about with the Empress is, beyond dealing with, the female figure, the mother figure, with the sun, you could be talking about fertility, pregnancy, right? Kind of waiting for that to happen and it showing up. Which is funny, because I think I got that before for Sag. But the Empress, anyway, is more about being able to enjoy the physical senses. If you have all this abundance around you, it's about being able to enjoy that and to indulge in all of that abundance. But also being happy and comfortable with who you are and where you're at. And with the sun being there, that's perfect. Your best path to follow, the Nine of Cups, right? What do you want? What do you really want? Be clear on that. Right? And with the sun being there and all the abundance surrounding you, be happy. Enjoy what you have. You know, be grateful for the things that you do have in your life, right? Stop putting your life on hold. You know, I almost feel like for some of you, it's you need to start doing the things that you always thought about doing. You know, there's no reason to wait anymore. I really think that this is about, you know, some of you needing to be more focused on you right now. You know, the healthy sense of ego, right? It's not, I'm not looking at this and going, you know, especially with the sun being there, being like, it's all about me, 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 me. Like, no, it's time for it to be about you, you know? But with the Nine of Cups, again, just be clear. Be clear on what it is that you want and be realistic about, you know, your expectations when it comes to the things that you're wanting. You know, but there's no reason why you shouldn't see all of that kind of come into you. I mean, all of this looks really good. Okay. All right. Now, and here's the thing, and this is what I'm talking about with the Three of Wands, and where I feel like where the mistake is happening is that people are waiting for things to come into them. You know, you've been putting your life on hold. That's what I feel like here with the Hangman. And you're waiting for something to happen, waiting for something to come through. But if you have acted in a way where you were clear on what you wanted, then you shouldn't be in this place of it's time to move on. Now, for some of you, very simply with the Eight of Cups, it's you need to stop doing this. You know, because I look at you, I see your back turn, and then I see you facing forward and being happy and having the things that you want and being happy with the things that you already have, you know, especially with these two. So with the Eight of Cups, there's definitely something in your environment that, you know, you've been waiting on that is not, it's not coming to you, or it's not bringing you the fulfillment that you want. And you can't continue to put your life on hold for this anymore. You know, it's time to move on now. And once you do that, though, you look really, really good. Like, really good. It's like, okay, now I see that what I've been waiting on is not going to bring me the emotional fulfillment that I need. And then that is where all of a sudden you move into this place of, I have everything I need right here. Wowza. Your hopes and your fears, the Five of Swords. Now, you know, if we're talking about you waiting on a person, with the Five of Swords being there, this is, you know, the fear is that you're still going to be continuing to deal with a person that doesn't really care about you, but is only interested in themselves. It's funny. I keep getting that. Like, I keep getting that. The Five of Swords, it's a no-win situation here. Dealing with somebody who, you know, is only going to see things from their perspective. Somebody who is wanting to, you know, have control over you and the way that you think, right? Purposely saying things that are going to hurt you. You know, I don't think that it's about you misunderstanding someone else. I think that they're misunderstanding you. And then the fear there would be that, you know, whoever you're dealing with, it's like they don't want you to be happy. You know, like it's almost like you're dealing with a situation with a person who wants you to be just as miserable as they are. And that's not fair to you anymore. You know? But you're good. Like, you're good. You know, and this may be the cycle that you're needing to break here. You know, that's been set up from the past, where you're constantly dealing with somebody who is hurting you and like making you feel like, no, you know, you're the one that's wrong here. You need to see things from my perspective. Sorry, guys. And with the Hangman, you're putting your life on hold for an asshole, you know? But I get this sense of protection, though, around you. But I also feel like, you know, this is the last time. This is the last time that you try to reach out. You know, because what you're expecting is not, good. It's not good for you. And then coming out the Seven of Wands. My God, what the hell? I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't talk right, but fucking right. It makes sense to me. Coming out as a Seven of Wands, it's like, I'm not going to allow you to beat me down anymore. And it really is time for you to start focusing on yourself and being happy with your life and the things that you have. This is just one setback here. But don't put yourself on hold. Don't put your life on hold. And you're not getting involved in, this kind of no-win situation here. You're just kind of standing your ground like, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. And then the Four of Swords, you're going to have to take a minute to yourself here, and you're not wanting to fight anymore, absolutely, especially with the Five of Swords. Don't want to fight, don't want to talk, don't want to communicate, time to take a break. With the Seven of Pentacles, though, in you putting yourself on hold here, that is you trying to see if there is a way to make this situation grow. Because clearly you're not happy with the results that you're seeing here, but you get to a point where I feel like you realize that it's time to move on. That there is no way that this situation is going to produce what you want. But I think that you're trying to figure it out as far as the past goes. But then moving to the Page of Swords with the Three of Wands, it's not something that you want to hear. First of all, with the Page of Swords, but we could also be talking about somebody who is not being, very open and honest with you, somebody who may be trying to use information against you, which could be possible here. But we're talking about you not getting answers to the questions that you have. And eventually you get to the point where, like, you're done. With the Eight of Cups, you're moving on. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not waiting. And what I worry about is that some of you continue to do this, but you're not hearing what you want to hear. But then you're also like not opening up and actually accepting it. But again, it's only temporary, right? But then with the Four of Swords, and this is where you get back into this place of, being comfortable with yourself, being happy, feeling like you have what you want, being more clear on what it is that you want or what is going to make you happy or emotionally fulfilled. You standing up for yourself and saying, I need a fucking break. You're going to have to back off. I need a minute. This is you not wanting to communicate anymore. And you kind of just say what you need to and you leave it at that. But it's definitely about you going through a recovery too, though, with the Four of Swords for sure. But damn, man, but with the Sun being there, right, you finally get to a place where everything is clear. But I also feel like you're much happier. Like you're much happier once you move on from this and stop waiting. You got two, but I see emerging and then the root chakra, which, to me goes back to earth. But I see that as you getting more grounded, which is perfect. So emerging. Now, earth. Earth specifically talks about you needing to go outside and be in nature, right? Go sit by the trees. Go talk to the trees, right? It makes me think of Pete Nelson, to the trees, But once you go outside, especially, for those of you who are in the United States and we're dealing with summer right now, needing to go to a place where you're surrounded by nature and allowing yourself to kind of meditate in that place and become a little bit more grounded again with the root chakra. But realizing that there is new growth here that is going to be emerging for you, But you're going to have to take a time out big time with the Four of Swords. I almost feel like for some of you, you kind of need to go somewhere where you get to be with nature and you get to be a little bit more in tune with yourself, right? Because the Empress, though, too, right? Being surrounded by the abundance of nature, But once you get grounded, seeing the possibility for new growth in your life, and then something begins to emerge within you. And you eventually get more grounded here. I'm telling you, did I not say protection? I feel like there is something is protecting you So protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. It's perfect. It's perfect. But, you know, getting the bigger picture here and realizing that it's time to kind of, you know, move on. It's time to move on. Stop putting your life on hold here. Start, you know, doing what is going to make you happy. But you are definitely protected. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. But I feel like you're going to get pushed to a point, like I said, where, you know, you're going to feel like things are moving backward. But once you see the bigger picture, that is where, you know, your happiness and abundance starts coming into play.